Harris Bushcraft, and today work on the bushcraft spot, or at the moment the bushcraft roof, and I badly need a haircut. Now, so I come wandering in. Somebody's found my spot. Somebody's been here. There is evidence of a fire, clear and present evidence of a fire. I'll show you. Relatively successful fire. I mean, you know, there's ashes there, and it's obviously burned a little bit, so they've done all right. But interestingly, not a spot of damage. Nothing has been touched. Even the log that I split to use as a plate, still on the table where I left it. So it's almost like whoever come here, had a fire, chilled out, didn't really do anything. It's almost like they didn't even sit over on my chair. Very strange. I would have done if I'd have found it. But they haven't damaged anything. So whoever it is, if you watch this channel, if you see these videos, thank you very much for not destroying it. And I would like to say, it's actually a very pleasant thought to think that somebody can come here, enjoy it, chill out, not do any damage, not make any mess. There are a few beer cans lying around, but I'm not sure that that was those guys, because I'm pretty sure they were lying around last time, and I slowly clear them away as I go. I don't think somebody's going to go to the effort of making a whole fire to have 3 beers, throw the cans around and go. Plus they've clearly used the part of the box in the fire and it doesn't match the brand, so I'm pretty sure they've taken their waste with them. But anyway, that's enough of that. It is pleasing though to think that somebody can come here, chill out, enjoy this place that I'm building and leave it with no damage. We don't mind sharing as long as you're not ruining the place. And I have personally had to pull some spots down before, mainly because when people had found them, they'd left so much mess. I'm like, it's just encouraging mess to gather. So that being said, even though I do know that somebody has been here and enjoyed this spot, because they've not done any damage, I figure I might as well just carry on. Might as well just carry on building it. And you know, we do build these things knowing one day it's probably going to be trashed by some little oik, or you know. To me, it's a surprise as well, because this thing keeps standing through the weather, and Staffordshire is notorious for weather anyway. It's always windy and wet, but just lately it has been ridiculously windy. So every time I come here, it's a surprise to see has my frame still stood up. I know I've built it quite strong, but if the wind's high enough and them trees are swinging about, it could easily rip them screws off. You know, I should add some bank line at some point. That's enough of that waffle anyway. Let's get a building, and in a bit we'll get a cook on. And today we've got something quite nice to cook. I'll save that for later on. So here we have a nice fresh roll of bank line to get started with, as I proper ran out last time mid-build. That was an oversight. Didn't think about that one. I suppose really I could have been, or should have been, carrying a spare roll of bank line. The problem is, you can't carry everything. At some point you've got to draw the line with how much kit you're dragging about with you. And you know, I am at the top of a big hill on these woods, so whatever you carry into here, you know that you've got it. Something in my boot. Some bit of woodland. So I think it's about time I get food cooking, really. And given us what I've got, which I'll tell you about momentarily, I think what I'm going to do is actually just make another bushcraft grill, as opposed to going for the old cooking on a stick method. And because I'm not stabbing a stick through it, I'm not too super concerned about taking all the bark off, really, because I'm not stabbing the stick in it. Pretty sure the heat will do most of that work for me. I have already got a fire going. I have cheated as well, I'm not even going to pretend. Today I haven't gone mooching through the woods looking for all manner of burnables. I just bought myself a bag of charcoal because I've got some charcoal lying around the garage getting in my way. I figured I'll use that today. Because I've got a bit of time constraints today. I can't spend all that long here, so I just want to get some stuff done, really, more than anything. So I figured I'm just making this a bit more flexible. Oh no, I'm not, I'm just breaking it. Okay, tell you what then, tarred bank line to the rescue. I'll just tie it. So that's probably about the most simplistic version of the bushcraft grill that you will ever see me construct. I have just thrown that together and tied it with sticks and other such things, because what we have today for our delightful bushcraft dining experience, provided by the good people at the Port of Lancaster Smokehouse Limited, Fine Foods, we have smoked venison sausages. Oh yes, absolutely delightful. There we go. Very simple grill. That should do the job. Ooh, heck, if I don't kick it all in the fire. That should do the job for me. Magic. Right, let's get on. I think I need one more piece of frame, and then I might actually throw some loose frame pieces in between them, not tie those on, just leave them as floating pieces, just to give it that little bit more extra support, because obviously there's quite a lot of weight up there, and once the water gets at it, it's going to push the roofing down, and it's perhaps just better to give it as much support as I can. So here's a lovely example of a bit of wind damage that's happened whilst we've been away. The wind has fetched this back piece of wood off, my back support bar, and it has dropped down quite considerably, which is a shame. But if anything, it has actually lowered this back end a bit and given it more fall, more runoff. So really, it may have actually done me a favour. So what I'm going to do, whilst I've got the bank line, I'm going to tie that back on. Ideally though, I could then do with lowering this piece, but I haven't got anything to get the screws out that I've bored in. So, frustrating. I'll have to come up with some solution to that. Oh, lovely. Right. Better go turn the old sausages over. Right. That's the sausages turned over. Now then. This is the bit I'm a little concerned about, because I'm not 100% sure that this is an idea is actually going to work. Now, I have built lots of sheds and structures throughout my time, and a lot of bushcraft shelters and stuff. I can't say I've ever attempted a floating roof like this. It has been a learning experience so far. It's all very experimental. So, what are we using? What are we using as our waterproof roof? Now, we are not going to be hacking up trees and things and doing all of that. What I'm actually going to use is this polytunnel plastic, of which I am going to take all my scrap out of the woods. I'm not going to leave it all lying around, obviously. Polytunnel plastic, just because it's quick and easy. If I was doing it for the fancy way, splitting logs and using stuff like that, I'd be here for 19 million years. And well, I'd like to get it done and get it usable. So yes, this is cheating a little. It's not that bad. Like I say, eventually I will have to take this down, not leave it blowing around the woods. So when I do have enough of this spot, I will have to clean this up and take it apart. Wow, this is a huge piece of plastic. This is a lot bigger than I thought I'd ordered. Massive, great piece of plastic. Do the job. It'll do the job nicely, he says. Second part of the ingredients list, drawing pins. Now the challenge is going to be getting it where I want it to go. Whilst I decide exactly how to get this to its best sort of fit. And what I'm going to do, roll the edges up and get a couple of pins in it just to hold it steady, whilst I go around the back and play with it around the back and make sure that that's right. What I'm going to do is roll it several times so that I know that it can take the weight off the pins. Get a couple of pins in and then go see if I've got enough for what I'm doing over there before I So I am going to have to work quite hard to disguise this once I've done. It is going to end up being quite visible, really. The back is going to be a pain in the bottom because I put all the holly up, and I need the holly up, but I'm going to have to move it a little. So I have, alongside the lovely sausage, also got another tinned haggis. I quite like this tinned haggis, I really do. So this time I'm just going to crack the tin, let all the boily steam out. I'm just going to stand it right there, and it'll cook it like that. Lovely, dinner will soon be on the way. Which is good, I'm getting quite hungry. I knew the back was going to be the most difficult part to get to, as it is already half disguised. Ah. So, I have managed to get a lot of pins in across the back. Let's do some more on the front. Those of you that have watched my shrink wrap video, and you know, saw that the drawing pins are quite effective, really, if you use enough of them. I know there's some people who'd say this technically it's not really bushcraft. No, maybe not. But then the trouble there is, how much parameters are we going to put on what we do in bushcraft? Are we going to say that I found a lovely tarpaulin, decided to just use sticks and got soaked? You know, I want a shelter. I want something usable here. I'm going to build lots of other things around this as well, and they are going to be very bushcraft, very basic things. This is just something I really want up, usable. So today we are dining for the first time ever under a roof. It's not finished quite yet, but I have a roof. That is good. Right, so let's see what these venison sausages are all about. I unfortunately dropped one or two of them there and got a little bit of ash on them, but oh yeah. Smoked venison sausages. What a luxury. Oh. I have to admit, this is a pretty easy method of construction, really. If you can get the material. It's very simple. It's very effective. But if I do change location, or if somebody does find this place and wreck it, then I will have to come back here and tidy all of this away. I can't leave huge plastic sheets flying around in the woods, but so eventually, you know, whether it survives the weather or not, eventually it'll have to be replaced. One day I'm hoping to have, as we all do, a permanent spot where I can build more permanent things. It's just one of them. Boiled canned haggis. Ooh. Boiled roly haggis. Oh. I've really started to love this haggis in a can stuff. Oh. As it bursts forth. Ah, gosh, that's really hot. Oh, look at that. Oh, and it doesn't even need the wood oboe. That's a 10 from me. Haggis in a tin. What more can you ask for? Hot haggis in a can. It even comes in its own little cup to eat it from. I'm sure haggis should be a superfood. I mean, it's got meat for protein, it's got some fats in there, nice bit of energy. You got oats by the look of it, and other such things for a bit of carbohydrate. It's kind of an all-in-one, really. And I just think it tastes fantastic. I know there's some people out there that don't like it, but why not? It's gorgeous. It's just like a big, soft meatball. And being in the can, It's no nonsense to cook at all. You just stick your can in your coals. Bob's your mother's brother. Oh. Now anyway, I am very concerned about wind with this. It is just a big sail at the moment. And other than laying weight on top of it, I don't know. It's going to be one of them, we'll just have to wait and see sorts of deals and see if it survives. Which, I have faith. I'd like to go to town with it, neaten it up, put some walls in, make it nice. It's really nice to just sit and know that you're under a roof. Weirdly, it's taken a lot of air movement away. It's much calmer and more still under here now. And if you was just doing an overnight or a couple of nights, you wouldn't have to go quite so mad with the framing. Now, next problem, because that's really what happens when you're doing anything. Problem after problem after problem. Next problem is this thing, it really sticks out. It says it's clear plastic. Obviously, it's only ever going to be so clear, but this thing sticks out massively. So I'm going to have to try and disguise it as best as I can. Best way I'm going to do that, I think, is to stick with what I was doing anyway, and just use hollies. Just cover it with holly. There's plenty of that around here, but if I cover it with holly, that'll at least make it not so visible from the walk path over there. There's a few I have already cut that I had to move a minute ago to get to what I needed to get to. I'll put them back up and then I'll probably go cut some more and see what I can do, really. The chances of making this thing invisible are practically zero. You know, obviously somebody already knows it's here anyway. It's going to get found. They always do. All we can really do is, you know, hope for the best, hope that people enjoy using it and leave it alone, and don't damage it, because if you damage it, there's just going to be plastic everywhere that's going to then need to be cleaned away, and there's no point. So let's get and try and disguise this thing as best as we can. I'm actually going to lay some sticks over the top of it horizontally as well. That'll help with the wind flopping about. Should also provide some small measure of disguise. It's hard to hide it when it's a giant shiny plastic thing. It's not, basically it's hard to hide a big polytunnel in the woods, but you know, we'll do what we can. Right, let's take a walk over here. Let's get a good distance away from it. Be very careful where I tread now, because I remember I planted all manner of things along here, and I can't remember where. So let's get a good way away from it and see what it actually looks like in the distance there. Okay, let's get all the way back to the trail. So, I don't know how it looks on the camera, but it's far from invisible, and realistically, I don't think really I am actually going to be able to cover it up all that well, and certainly I'm not going to be able to make it beyond being seen. Oh well. In the long run, I think we might be calling this the practice run and rebuilding something somewhere else, but we shall see how long it lives. I mean, that is a bit of an eye catcher from the trail, and we are on the trail here, and you can see that we've had some pretty heavy traffic coming through. Somebody's been up on a motorbike. I can't imagine they'd be too interested in it. And to be fair, I don't think your average dog walker would be too interested in it either. So who knows, it may survive. Really, what I want is the weather to get nicer so that everything grows back up quickly. It's probably unlikely. Certainly isn't going to do it quickly. And there we have it. a roof. Now, like I say, this is a little experimental really, so we'll wait and see how well that actually survives over the next couple of weeks. Ironically, it's not really ironic to be fair, but what I'm saying is next week I might not actually be filming this spot. I have a couple of other things that I want to do. I don't want to just keep rolling on building stuff in the woods, as good as it is. I want to vary it up a bit, do some other stuff. So there will probably not be a spot video next week. Can't guarantee, you never know. There is some of the things that I'd like to do instead, but I will probably come here and have a cook anyway, not bother filming it, just to check, see how well it has fared. How well is it going to put up with the wind? The frames put up with the wind just fine. Yes, because we're in the woods, naturally we're going to have a bit of shelter. It's not going to be the windiest place ever, because the trees will do some protecting. But we'll see, we'll see. I can't say as I've had many other sort of wind related issues in the woods from when I'm using tarps and stuff. It is relatively sheltered, but when the trees get shaken about, who knows what happens. Sticks could fall out of trees and pop holes in it and stuff, which if they do, duct tape, you know what I mean? We'll see. I just want a nice easy waterproof place to come and spend a couple of camps and have a laugh and get some build on, and that's really what I'm doing with this place. And it is, I am enjoying coming up here, building it. As much as I do like doing videos on this is how you do this is how you do that, sometimes it's nice to just go, well, today I'm doing this. I'm having a play in the woods and building things, and you know, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, getting out there, enjoying it. And yeah, plus fishing season's coming, and I want to do quite a bit of fishing this year, amongst other things. But that's enough Easter eggs and secrets about videos yet to come. As always, guys, get yourselves out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun, go build yourself a little something somewhere in the woods. You don't have to go quite as elaborate as this, just a nice little shelter where you can go and relax and feel at home and be safe. And that is pretty much all from Bosun Dan today. So I shall catch you guys on the next one. Oh, and I have picked up those beer cans and things that were laying around in the background. I'll be taking them out and finding a appropriate receptacle for them. I can't stand people dropping litter in the woods. Really low class behaviour. Other than that though, guys, that is all from Bosun Dan, and I shall catch you on the next one.